Stop right there. Are you a real estate investor? Do you own more than one property here in Canada? A cottage, rental property, even vacant land? Well, then you must take the next 5 minutes to learn how the upcoming changes to the Canadian capital gains tax inclusion rate could affect you and your real estate portfolio. This could absolutely change your life. The Canadian federal government has proposed changes to the capital gains tax inclusion rate, increasing the taxable portion from 50% to 66.7% if you profit more than $250,000 from the sale of your investment, with this new rate set to be adopted on June 25th, 2024. Now, currently, if you sell a qualified asset, such as a secondary residence, whether it's a cottage, a rental property, or even vacant land, you are eligible to be taxed on 50% of your profit at your marginal tax rate. And the government wants to increase this taxable portion from 50% to 66.7% if you profit more than $250,000. And it doesn't stop there. If you own the eligible asset under a trust or a corporation and not as an individual, then the new higher inclusion rate kicks in on the first dollar of profit made. That means if you own the real estate investments under a trust or corporation, you will be taxed on 66.7% of your profit with no minimum cap. Now, let's expand this analysis a little bit further. In the past 10 years, the average price of a single family home in the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board has risen, guess how much? Guess? 104%, from $566,000 to $1.156 million. 104%. That is absolute madness, and it's also what I would call an absolutely great return. And now you may be asking yourself, well, Nico, what does this even have to do with taxes increasing? And I'll tell you, a lot of people have been kicking around this idea lately that the Bank of Canada will be cutting interest rates, and maybe they will. Maybe that quarter-point reduction in rates will come around, but will that reduction last? Interest rates are managed by the Bank of Canada in order to control inflation. That is one of the bank's primary mandates. And so when interest rates go down, demand increases because people have easier access to credit and therefore prices rise. Okay, so if lowering rates is an inflationary measure, then what happens if you increase rates? Well, access to credit is reduced, spending decreases, demand dries up, and poof, prices go down. Now, let me ask you, do you see inflation going up or do you see inflation going down? Do you feel inflation is being managed? Well, the core price index inflation rate currently sits at about 2.9% per year, right below the allowable threshold of 3% set by the Bank of Canada. Now, knowing this and knowing that the job of the Bank of Canada is to reduce inflation rates, do you think that the Bank of Canada will be eager to decrease rates anytime soon? Especially seeing as inflation doesn't seem to be totally under control as of yet? Well, the governor of the Bank of Canada, Mr. Tiff Macklem himself, even says rates are unlikely to drop back down to pandemic or pre-pandemic levels for a long time, and that any change that does come about will be gradual. And just in case all of that isn't enough for you, consider this. The overnight interest rate, which is the benchmark rate set by the Bank of Canada, currently sits at 5%. And guess what the average rate is for the past 30 years? 5.78%. This means we're actually still below the average interest rate of the past 34 years. Now, you tell me, do you think rates are going up or do you think rates are going down? Maybe rates drop a bit and you can squeeze a couple extra percent of returns from your investment. Or maybe rates increase and slowly your returns get eaten up for the next 5 years. Who knows? All I can say is if you are considering selling an investment property or secondary residence in the next couple of years, now may actually be the best time to maximize and lock in your profits and not get dinged by a massive tax increase. You have until June 25th, guys. Time is ticking. If you found this information helpful, consider sharing it with others. If you would like to discuss your own personal real estate goals and get a better idea of how to maximize your real estate potential, then feel free to reach out to me. I absolutely love discussing the intricacies of real estate investing, and I would love to help turn your real estate dreams into real estate realities. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Nicholas Sedsides, your trusted local real estate expert.